Good morning, and good morning. How you doing? Do I need any light on? The sun's not out today. What's wrong with the sun? It's kind of overshadowed here where I'm sitting at. I might as well turn on some light. Hold on 1 minute. We'll get a little light on the subject today. How you doing? Look, I'm jumping up and down in my chair. Look, I have on my pen today, and I'll show it to you. It's past president. I don't know why my screen is feeling kind of funny. Okay. But anyway, I am on as past president now. I have my pen. Last night was my last night as president of the Pensacola Suburban West Rotary Club. And we had a great time. The room was full. It was a lot of, talking and hugging and taking of pictures and thank yous. And I was absolutely in my hay life. I loved it. It was just a wonderful time, just a wonderful time. And I'm so excited about, my successor. This morning, I did that early this morning, trying to write something, and I wrote predecessor and its successor. And one of my friends and new to Rotary sent me a private message for me to go ahead and change that. And I said, oh my goodness, I'm usually on top of stuff, but I am a little tired. But my duty is that I do what I'm supposed to do. I do what I'm supposed to do. So today's word is legacy. Okay, legacy. And I did this word maybe two years ago. And it's just, to me, it's an important word. It's not just for projects or groups or you know work situations that you may be in a role of leadership. To me, it's when you're really looking at, what have I done here? What am I leaving behind that I made every attempt to increase, the idea of something of importance, whatever that was. And then for your family, you think about it, the legacy that someone has left is something that is passed on to other members of that family. Same thing, the presidency is something that is passed in terms of the entire group is what is left. Wow, we're really doing good. We've done good with this and this and this. We still have to work on that and that. Though that's legacy. That is legacy. So I'm going to sip a cup of coffee and then I'm going to get in with it. So happy for those who are looking on. So first, I went online this morning. It says, tired as I am, I still am working. And I found this thing on leadership and legacy, or legacy leadership. You can look at it either way. The word could go backward or forward. And this one particularly came from an actual business, a City National Bank business. And it talked about these words, which was just two little paragraphs that resonated with me. Good morning, Debbie. How are you? I've been missing you. Oh, you got my picture up. I do. I do. It is up. Yeah, I put it up either the beginning of last week or the end of the prior week. But yes, it is definitely up. Yes. Thank you so much for that. That's special. That is just so special to me. But anyway, I found this thing. Our word today is legacy, and I found this thing on the City National Bank's website. And their website is like www.cnb.com. And it says, lead by example. Sometimes we have leaders who are in positions to lead, but really it's their support that is really doing the leading. They end up being the figurehead. And so, for me, I said, I want to lead by example. I want to say that I've done something. I've made every attempt to do something. And if I don't know all that I need to know, then I will ask for help, or people will see that I need help and provide it. Good morning, Joan. My friends are back. Love you guys. Miss you. Joan, I still have that card running around in my car. I will get it to you. I promise I will. So this I found on the leadership legacy note on the City National Bank's website, and it says legacy is defined not only by the accomplishments and the visions you leave behind, but also by how you conduct yourself as a leader and the decisions you make every day. So when you take on leadership roles, or maybe you might be in a family where some things are required of you, you always remember certain things that people did. Not only did they do them well, but they did them consistently. They were there for it. I just remember things from my mother and my grandmother who have gone on to glory now, but I remember how important they were to me and special because, I wanted to know some things that how they do this, limited. They were limited maybe in terms of their supplies or their finances or something, but they still were able to accomplish what they wanted to accomplish. My mother was the best cook. My grandmother made the absolute best biscuits ever, because I don't like, my mother used to call the biscuits that were real fat. She goes, well, real big. She used to call them cat heads. I don't know where it came from, but that's part of her legacy. Just some of the things that she said, and how she did things. My mother was very organized. You couldn't comb your hair in the kitchen. You had to stay. Certain things. Children couldn't be about part of conversation. So all those things were examples of her leadership. So when, of course, I became a mother, I started instilling in my household some of the things that I was taught. That would mean she led by example. And, here I am having done the same thing. So anyway, the quote at the bottom says, if you decide to do the right thing when no one is looking, you build a track record and people trust you. And this person's name is Bates. I don't know who Bates is, but it says it's important for leaders to understand that who you are as a person defines who you are as a leader. So I felt pretty good last night. I felt that we had accomplished a lot under my leadership. So now that I am on the other end of the leadership, and I'm on the I guess the mature side, I guess that was what you would call it. I'm fine. I'm fine. The new leader coming in, I'm so excited. She's got some ideas and some things, but you know what? We come in with a big bubble, but we may do probably half of what our intentions are. But the thing is that we have intentions. We have a plan, and that's what works. So let's get down to our word today, which is legacy. And it says legacy, the amount could be amount of money, the amount of property, or the amount of authority that you have with someone, or in a something that you're leaving behind, as in a will. It says something that someone else will inherit. It says it is the heritage. It's the bequeathal. It's the bestowal. It's the generational. It's the endowment, the gift. It says it could be an heirloom or a settlement, but basically it's a provision that is being put in place. Good morning, Miss Rosie. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. So what we're talking about is the legacy that we leave behind. And sometimes it doesn't mean that you're gone. It just means that you might have worked or been a leader of some particular program. So what did you do with that leadership? What went on with it? To me, having a plan works. Okay. Because a plan at least gives you some outline of what you're trying to do. To go in what I would call like helter-skelter, kind of nip and tuck, it wouldn't work for me. Everybody knows that knows me really well knows that I try to be extremely organized about most things that I'm involved in. So when we talk about the whole idea of legacy, we have to talk about lineage. Now, lineage doesn't necessarily just have to be as if it's in a family, familial kind of situation. It means who led this at one time, who was here at one time and is no longer here or no longer operating in that position. So lineal, it says lineal descent from, it could be from an ancestor, or a pedigree, or just in this instance, it's leadership. And it talks about it could be family, it could be by birth or descent, it could be just who's in line next, who's up, who's available to come and do certain things. So it talks about it being the roots of something. When I think about the roots of our Rotary Club, the one I'm in, I think it was started in 1957. That's it's a long time ago. So you think about those kinds of things. And, even when you go back, I've read some of the history that I can find on the organization. Very interesting, where some of the traditions came from. And we're known as the Fried Chicken Club. I don't know, somebody had some fried chicken way back when, loved it, and they've had it in every single week on the menu for our Rotary Club lunches is fried chicken. Now I got to be honest, I usually do not get the fried chicken. I usually get whatever other meat they have, or fish, because they do have fish and chicken, regular chicken. That's sandy. I eat that more so than the fried chicken. But nonetheless, the meals are wonderful at the Pensacola Yacht Club where we meet at. But anyway, when we talk about lineage, we're talking about our legacy. What went on before? How and what will we leave? That's the whole concept. The E in me for legacy is endowment. What am I leaving to someone else? What am I leaving? Did I set it up where once it's passed on to someone else, they will get something? They always talk about, even when you're looking at personally your will, or and a lot of people leave life and they never had a will, or they leave life and they haven't, nothing is set up, maybe because it was a sudden departure from life, but it makes it where all of a sudden they're trying to figure out, how do I do this yet legendary? Oh, that's good, that's really good, Joan. So we talk about what would be left, and so they talk about an endowment. An endowment is the action of endowing something or someone, some things. So you look at, if you're president of an organization, or you're the head of the family, could be the matriarch, the patriarch, and it passes down, because eventually, as each one passes on, they leave something. And so either you work with it, what they left, or you move on. Legitimate. I like that. Is it legitimate? Yes. Experience. Yes, absolutely. Debbie, what experience did you have, or are you bringing, or are you leaving? Because a lot of times we can do things, but we're not good at leaving a good roadmap. We're good at it, but we don't know how to design it and make it where other people are able to find their way through it. So an endowment may talk about financing, subsidizing, donations, establishments of some sort. It could be on the side of it, setting it up where what's left, it means that it can still stand without them being there, that there's something still going on. Educate, absolutely. Experience and educate are very important whenever you're, setting up your own family legacy, or, or looking at running a particular group or business. What legacy will it leave? Like, I just remembered sometimes when they would talk about certain businesses, they said, yeah, they were the first, and they were always there for the people, and they settled in a certain area of town, and they always let you know what was left behind, what was the legacy of that particular company, or that family. Like, I know here in town, it was Joe Morris when I first came, because my husband passed away maybe about 4 years after I moved here. And, I'm young, I don't know what to do, but that was the name that they gave me. They said they are the one in town that you want to use, and they were right there for me. In fact, my husband was buried in New York and not here in Florida. So they made all those arrangements, the military arrangements, everything was done here in Florida. So, even though I didn't have much money, let me tell you, my endowment wasn't that good, but I still was able to do what I needed to do. Good morning, Adelia. How are you? Love you, love you, love you. Everlasting. That's great. That's a good word. Everlasting, educate, experience. All those things speak to legacy, not just at the family level, but it looks at it as a business, as a person. I'm hoping that my legacy as a person will live far beyond me. What did I do? I mean, everybody knows what Franklin did, or Mozart, or Maya Angelou. You know what they did by the legacies that they left behind. And so that's what we're talking about today. When we move on in our word of legacy, we talk about it being generational. All the people born in the living or about the same time recorded collectively, but it's also generations by the fact that somebody after this layer is gone, another layer comes. And that's where I shifted over to the business side, or the being over a professional group of some sort. That once the layer that's currently running it, and it becomes generational because someone else is going to take it over. So that's what we're talking about. So then it might be looking at the cohort, the stage, the time period in which they came in, the group itself as a total group, or what was left behind, what might be looking at what is the age range of the people in the group. All of that speaks to maybe several generations being in one group. So how collectively, in terms of the legacy of the group, does it still continue to stand? It has to be that somebody's working. Somebody's working towards making sure that everybody stays connected, stays connected. Let's see. Endearment. Oh, that one's good too. Endearment is good. Um, so when we look at, so generational, that this layer is gone, so that we're on the next layer, and so forth and so on. And so we will always keep having someone come behind. Okay. However, sometimes legacy ends when a particular person who had the vision leaves. They leave this life and there's no one to take it on. That's when sometimes are seen where they have great books out about who these people were, only because there was no one able or willing to stand up and do or try to do what was being left behind by the person who passed on. So it's always good to just take in everything that you can. Like, I've been trying to teach my daughter recipes, because she'll come over sometimes. So, you did that too fast. I said, I can't do it again. You got to watch. I said, I'll just keep calling you over when I'm making it. And she loves for me to make curry, chicken, and rice. And so that one, or there's like a hot beef dip that I make, and she loves that. So trying to teach her these things, and because I don't really measure. So I'm trying to get her to understand that sometimes your measurement of how you do things becomes your own. So you may eventually have a twist on the same recipe that I have. So then we talk about the ancestry of one's family or their ethnic descent, but there's also the ancestry of a group. Like me telling you that my Pensacola Subwest Rotary Group has been around since 1957, and just looking at that, there's been many leaders. I mean, women weren't led into the group until, well, they weren't even led into Rotary until 1989. And I ended up being, I think, their sixth woman president. But then they have 7 and 8 right after me. So, women have really been very impactful and worthwhile and hardworking for Rotary. So it's really been a good thing that they finally let women into Rotary so that we could do something. So when we talk about the ancestry of an organization or our families, we're talking about, what's there, what's a part of that tree, what's the lineage, what's the line, what's the roots of it, where did it start, how did it start, who's a part of it. That's who we are. We are constantly a part of groups that it might be with church, it might be in school, it might be, social groups, might be dance groups, okay? Or for me, occasionally, I've gotten into music groups like chorales or choirs, even my church choir, mass choir. It's a group, but there's history to those groups. And that would be, what does it look like when you're looking at the history? Who was there? Who was a part of it? What did they do? What was important? And what legacy did they leave behind? I when I joined my church, well, actually, before I joined my church, one of the things I remembered is everywhere I went, people said, "Now that Greater Little Rock Mass Choir, that is a singing choir. We've tried to hold up the banner, tried to hold up the banner." So that's what you do when you are part of a group that you believe in, or you're part of a family that you want to make sure that the legacy stands up. You do what you can do to make it where the information gets out there. Um, the next word I have in my word of legacy is credible. When we really look at what we're doing, is it credible as far as the family, the groups, the associations, all those things? It says able to be believed. And that's what I want. I don't join anything that I don't believe in. So if I believe in it, then I can be a part of it. If I don't believe in it, don't look for me to be supporting it, because it doesn't fit, who I am. So when something is credible, it talks about it being convincing, acceptable, trustworthy, reliable. Oh, okay. Grief. Oh, that was for that one up in I'm getting some of your things late, so I apologize for that. But for some reason, the connections sometimes I don't see things until after I leave. I apologize, but I'm not that's the platform that I'm on. But anyway, when something is credible, it also says it's sure, it's going to be good, it's valid, there's a feasibility to it, it's viable, is sustainable. How many times have we joined groups and they're not sustainable? We've been a part of something and we say, well, nope, got to get out of that because, the money's the issue, the personalities are issues, the legacy is the issue, all of those things. And then credible also talks about it being maintainable. Can we maintain what it is that we're looking at, looking for, looking into? Don't know. Sometimes we have to ask the question, how important is it to us? Um, and the last thing I have in the legacy, word in the word of legacy, is my why is for it's yours. It's yours. Gratitude. Gratitude is good. I believe that we should have gratitude for whatever we're a part of, be it family, be it an organization, be it something that makes us feel, that we have pride in it. We're appreciative of the fact that it exists and we're a part of that existence. Appearance, yes. When we're talking about, because that was under ancestry, we're looking at the appearance. What appearance does groups have? Does families have? Do organizations have? Do businesses have? You know, I always used to get intrigued with the Better Business Bureau because every agency that I would try to look up, they wouldn't be in there. I was like, well, how do you stay under the wire of Better Business? But there were organizations out there that were able to do that. My why in today is for yours. I believe the legacy is your legacy, and it's your legacy of the agencies, the positions that you've held, the family that you're a part of, it's yours. It's a part of what you would leave behind. Oh, yearning. Yes, that's a good word. Yearning is a great word because, we yearn to be a part of stuff until sometimes we get in it and then we want to get out. But it says it's yours, used to refer to a thing or things belonging or associated with a person or people. It belongs to the persons or the people that are part of something. And anytime you're a part of a group, like, it might be that you're a part of a reading group, or you're part of a, I don't know, specialized groups, because there's so many of them out there. You know why you're a part of them. They're yours. You feel it. You've made it part of your go-to, your go-to. So it says that basically these are people that are in addressing the fact that it's his, it's hers, it's theirs, it's mine. So it's very personal, very, very personal. Yield. That one's good. Yield and yearning. When we yield to something, that means we've stopped long enough to pay attention to it. I always used to to say, every time I get a ticket, and when I first got my car in New York, I remember getting a ticket for yield. I got one down here because they claimed I rolled through the stop sign, the yield sign, that I didn't really yield before I went, that I rolled through the yield. And so the the yield is really good because it makes you pay attention to what is, what isn't, what should be. And if something is yours, it's yours. You're a part of it. It's a part of your, ideology. It's a part of your makeup. It's a part of, your dreams. You place it in such a way that it becomes important. And so many of us that were a part of groups, and we're a part of them only because of the name. We're not a part of them all because we believe in what they do and what they're there for. For me, if I'm a part of a group, I believe in the group. I believe in all the good that it should be doing, and I'm not going to be in it if it doesn't do good and it's not looking at doing good in my community and maybe even in the world. But that's how I look at it. So I've had a good run as being president of my Rotary Club. I'm excited that I can sit down a little bit now and enjoy the meeting without me, making sure that I'm running the meeting, and making sure that the speakers are there and all of that kind of stuff, along with um, the life that goes on during those meetings. But I am excited about what's next for Winnie, for Dr. Winnie. I have a few projects coming up that I'm going to be working on. I really need to finish a couple of books. I put some stuff on hold for a while, but I'm looking forward to doing this. I will continue doing Are You Stuck every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and hoping that you all will come, and that if you don't do anything else, that you will hit the share button and let this be shared out there to somebody that knows that I'm here. I'm here. I want to talk about things that make sense to me, but also give you an okay to explain who you are by, the Are You Stuck? Only if you want to be. But you can come in with your different approaches, like just like Joan and Debbie are doing right now, where they're actually writing in certain things that would go towards the words that we use. I even used it last night. I did the word Rotary, and I told all of that, and they loved it. So I'm okay. I'm okay. I will see you soon. I'm going to be back. Today is Friday. I'll be back on Monday with another word. I want you to have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. Be safe. Enjoy. And think about your own legacy. What are you doing now to prepare for the legacy that you will leave? Have a great, great weekend. Love you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.